Welcome to the Kelly Healing Project, where we have real conversations about healing, growth, and stepping into your power. I'm Kelly, and I'm so glad you're here. Today's guest is Latha Jay, a spiritual strategist, speaker, and best-selling author whose work sits at the intersection of manifestation, neuroscience, and deep inner healing. She is founder of the Institute of Conscious Creation, creator of the 24/7 Manifestation Method, and author of both the 24/7 Manifestation Method and the Law of Attraction Manifestation Journal. Through her work and her community of more than 800,000 followers, Latha teaches people how to move beyond surface level manifestation techniques and create lasting transformation by addressing the subconscious beliefs, nervous system patterns, and emotional conditioning that keep us stuck. What I love about Latha's message is that it isn't just about thinking positive or creating vision boards. It's about learning to trust yourself, regulate your nervous system, release old identities, and embody the version of yourself you're trying to become. Today, we're diving into manifestation, healing, self-trust, nervous system regulation, and what it really takes to create lasting change in your life. So please help me welcome Latha Jay.
Hi, Kelly. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here and taking time out of your day. I really do appreciate it. So for those meeting you for the first time, can you share the journey that led you to become a spiritual strategist?
Yeah, so I originally trained to become a doctor. My whole entire life, I wanted to go to medical school and become a doctor. As a young child, I knew that I wanted to help people. So, of course, when I told my parents this, being my parents are Indian, I'm Indian, they said, okay, well, that's great, become a doctor. Like, that's the path for you. So, my whole entire life, I thought I was going to be a doctor. I dressed up as a doctor for Halloween. My first job was a volunteer, I was a candy striper at a hospital. I worked my first actual paid job was as a doctor, front desk clerk at a doctor's office.
Ah.
Everything in my life was oriented towards me becoming a doctor until I did my degrees in biology psychology. I went to medical school, and the first day of medical school, I knew it wasn't for me. And I kind of just
Mm.
stuck with it for the next 3.5 years, just up until graduation, where I was just like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I need to shift. And I did. I left without a plan. And in that process, I went on a huge journey to just kind of figure out what the heck I wanted to do. And after that, I mean, I did pretty much everything. I farmed. I became a farmer for a little bit. I had a fashion company. I worked in IT. I got trained in meditation and yoga and, just like literally a little bit of everything just to kind of try things out and figure out where the heck I wanted to be because I had no
Mm.
idea. And every one of those occupations and hobbies and things that I pursued really guided me towards figuring out what it is that I wanted and what it is that I truly enjoyed and was good at. And that really brought me to this role here that I do now. And I've been working for well over 2 decades, just supporting people and empowering them to do what is best for them in their life and how to achieve the goals that they set for themselves, manifesting their biggest and wildest dreams.
Wow, that's very inspirational. Wow, and so you've done a lot. Okay, you were a farmer, you were in IT, and gosh, okay, so up until graduation, that's crazy. Okay, well, that's awesome. So looking back, what was the hardest identity or belief that you had to release in order to step into the life that you're living now?
I think that one of the biggest things that I had to release to actually shift my life and feel free was the idea that because I had invested so much time towards one goal, I needed to continue my life towards that. And I think not only me, but so many people around the world get stuck in the same idea. It's the sunk cost fallacy. It's the idea that just because you've invested X amount of years into a relationship or towards a degree or towards
Mhm.
something, but if your heart of hearts, you know that it's not for you, it's okay to make a shift. It's okay to take a bold step. And that's exactly what I did. And it really cleared my whole path forward to figure out what it is that I actually wanted to do. And in medical school, I was a great med student. Looking in, people would be like, why the heck would you leave? From the outside looking in, it was because I mean, I was an honor student. I had A's, I had great friends, I had a wonderful social network. but I
Mhm.
was not happy. It felt so misaligned for me. And it was something uniquely that only I could feel. And I knew this on day one, but I kind of tried to like keep pushing myself, keep going until, just before graduation, a few months out from graduation, I had a couple more rotations left to do. I was just like, no, I'm not doing this. It's not for me. And I'm so grateful that I did. I think it's important for people to really pursue what brings them joy in their life because I personally know this, and I've seen this again hundreds of times with my clients as well. When you're pursuing what it is that makes you happy, there is a sense of fulfillment there. There's a sense of success there that is not achievable through any other path forward.
Right, that is so true. And there's a lot of people, yeah, that they're not living with their passion, or they're not fulfilled because they're not doing what they're passionate about, and they just keep on trucking, and they're not listening to their body, and their body's like, this is not for you, and they're not listening. So yeah, I totally get it. And also I've been there. So I know what it's like. But that's great that you were able to really notice that, like your intuition was so strong that you knew that you said the first day you were like, this is not for me.
Yeah.
And most people, they would keep, oh, let me just keep pushing, maybe I given it enough time, they'll try to rationalize with themselves, but you can't take away your intuition. You need to listen to it. It's telling you something.
Yeah.
So what role does nervous system play in manifestation that most people tend to overlook?
Well, I think it's really important to remember that your nervous system is there for a reason, and it's
Mhm.
there to alert you to things that don't feel aligned to you. So when you are able to really calm your nervous system down and to regulate it so that it feels like this is not something that is foreign, this is not something that is dangerous, then you're really able to welcome it into your life. But if every time you think about having, a new job or dating someone else or, pursuing something that you really, really want, and your nervous system goes into this fight or flight mode and it's just like, panicked.
Mhm.
That's not the energy of manifestation, right? You want to really be able to be in a space where you know that whatever it is that you're calling into your life, when you're dreaming it up, when you're thinking about it, is meant for you, and that you have the capacity to actually hold it when it comes to you. It's not a matter of it coming to you and then you have it for a minute and it's gone. Well, what's the point of that? But it's really the idea of you being able to enjoy it in your life. And it comes back to joy a lot. Every time that I kind of look at life and the pursuit of things, it's like, are you living in your joy? What truly makes you happy? Are you in love with what it is that you're doing where you are? Those are things to really consider. And those feelings are in a regulated nervous system. When you are truly feeling joy, there's a sense of peace that comes with it. It's a sense of deep fulfillment. And that's really the key.
Okay, right. That makes so much sense. And a lot of people, do you do you believe that to attract abundance that you need to have a good sense of self-worth? I feel like the more that I've worked on my self-worth and knowing that I'm worthy of more money, it's like more money would find me. Is that something that you've noticed as well, maybe in your journey or other people you work with?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that your idea of it comes with that sense of nervous system regulation, right? If you believe that you're worthy of always maintaining, $20,000 in the bank, and your nervous system kind of expands to say like, oh, that's peace. Like that's the energy that I'm calling in. So you're going to continue to be peaceful in that space versus feeling
Mhm.
dysregulated in a space when more money is coming to you. It is that same concept, but as your identity expands, as you continue to know that you are able to have more comes to you. But it really starts with you understanding your shadows and your limiting beliefs. Because if you have a limiting belief that says, if I have more money, I need to make new friends. If I have more money, everybody's going to only want me for my money. If I have more money, I'm going to have to pay more
Mhm.
taxes. And all of this feels like chaos to you. Well, then those are your blocks. That's where you need to start really peeling back the layers and being able to uncover what's actually going on for you.
Right. That makes so much sense. So when somebody feels stuck despite doing all the inner work, where do you typically encourage them to look first?
Oh, I love this question because when you are feeling stuck, it means that you're focused on yourself. That's the only thing ever.
Mm.
So if you are feeling stuck, my best recommendation, and I've seen this work, I want to say 100% of the time, I don't have the statistics to back it up, but honestly, and I know personally it's worked for me many, many times. When you're feeling stuck, it means that you are only focused on yourself. So anytime
Mm,
I feel stuck, I make it a point to go out, to volunteer, to help someone else, to donate some money, to make sure that my energy is moving externally for a little bit, right? When you are going and you are serving at a soup kitchen, when you are going and you are tutoring a young child, when you are going and, making sure that a family can eat dinner when maybe previously they couldn't, wow, well, that shifts your
mm.
perspective and that shifts your energy. It takes you from the space of, whoa, it's me, 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 feeling stuck, 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 to I'm pushing my energy out there. I believe as I give into the world, that energy is circulated back, right? It's like I'm putting more good energy out there, and I know that there's more good energy available. And it's not like you're doing it for the return, but you're doing it with the kindness of heart, and it just opens something up for you in that space. Anytime you're stuck, put your energy outward. Go help someone else. Go volunteer. Go out there outside of you.
That's so true. Yeah, you're just so overly focused on yourself, and you just need to stop. Stop thinking just about you, and there's other people out there that are struggling. So, what inspired you to create the 24/7 manifestation method?
Yeah. So I've actually written a book about it. It's sitting here. Here, can you show
Oh,
you
yeah, that's
guys?
one. Okay.
Yeah, I love the cover too. I think it's so pretty. This is the 24/7 manifestation method. It's coming out in October, and it's actually based on a method that I had created many, many years ago, and I found so much success with it. I really worked on it with a bunch of my private clients for the longest time before I even actually, wrote this book or anything. I worked on it for years with people that would come with me to Costa Rica and different places on retreats, people that would be part of different groups and have my one-on-one high level clients and things like that. That's the method that I would really work with them, and I would see results over and over again. So I decided to write a book on it and just really give this out to the world so that people could access it. And it is such a powerful methodology. What it really does is that it helps you to rewire your subconscious. The thing here is that your thoughts are based on your subconscious energy, right? So when your thoughts are changing, then your beliefs change, because a belief is only a thought that's thought many, many times. So when your beliefs are shifted and you have a different belief, your actions are going to be different. You're going to act in a different way if you have a different belief. Once you act different, the world perceives you differently and it responds to you differently. And you show up in the world differently as well because your belief is different. And it's really important to remember that. And that's one of the reasons that the 24/7 manifestation method is so powerful. And that's one of the reasons that this book is so powerful. I really do believe that this book is going to change the lives of millions of people around the world.
Wow, that's awesome. And I feel like it's something, manifestation is something that's not talked about enough because a lot of people think that they don't manifest when they do every single day. But it's the
Yeah.
thing, it's they're manifesting the things that they don't want because they're so overly focused on it.
That's one of
Eh,
the reasons this book is actually called the 24/7 manifestation method, because you're manifesting 24/7
Yes.
all of the time. It's the only difference is if you are manifesting what it is that you actually consciously want, or if you're manifesting by default. If you're manifesting by default, you're manifesting from the space of fear, your limiting beliefs, your shadows, all those things that are keeping you small, 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 small. When you're focused in your conscious space, when you're consciously creating and moving forward and manifesting from that space, whoa, life is so, so different. Now, one of the main aspects of the 24/7 manifestation method, and also another reasons that it's named the 24/7 manifestation method, is that you are consciously creating your life. And the way that you're doing that is every day for 7 days. In the morning, as soon as you wake up, and right before you go to bed, you are writing down an affirmation 24 times, 24 times in the morning, 24 times at night for 7 consecutive days. Now, this is really important that you do it as soon as you wake up in the morning. Not, I get up, I brush my teeth, I go to the bathroom. No. This is, you're sleeping, you wake up, you just gain consciousness, you grab your pen, you go for it. That is so powerful. It's actually called a hypnagogic state. It's a state of consciousness between rest and wakefulness. And that period of time is when your subconscious is the most impressionable. It's kind of like a hack. You are hacking your thoughts. You're getting right into your subconscious really quickly in just 7 days to rewrite one of your core beliefs. And when you do that, it is so powerful. Now, the hypnagogic state also exists before you go to bed, right? So when you're awake to when you're asleep. So when you are writing this down in that space too, you're confirming this again to yourself. You're allowing yourself to marinate in the idea that this is happening for you all night long. right? And as you are continuing to do this, you are building upon it. You're building a new neuronal pathway in your brain to understand that that thought, that affirmation that you were writing, and you're writing one down 24 times in the morning, 24 times in the evening, consecutively for 7 days. You're reinforcing that belief for yourself. And it is extremely powerful. I have seen some of the coolest things happen. So many shifts happen. So many miracles have happened. And I've written a lot about them in this book here. I think it's like so exciting for me to be able to bring this to the world and share this with people. And that's just the baseline of it, right? There's a lot more that builds into the methodology, but I wanted to kind of just share that with you because it's such a powerful way to even start.
That's so awesome. I love that. Yeah, because we're manifesting 24/7, whether you want to believe it or not. It's so true. So, what are some of the most common limiting beliefs that you see people carrying?
I'm not enough, probably one of the biggest ones.
Ooh.
I am not enough. And that is the huge limiting belief. It'll hold you back from every aspect in your life. I'm not enough to make more money. I am not good enough to go out with this guy. I'm not good enough to ask for that job promotion. I'm not good enough to live in this house. I'm not good enough to be part of this group. It's like, oh my God, and how many different ways can you limit yourself? It's all there, right? But it's like with that deep rooted limiting belief, it can control your life. And that limiting belief may have been formed in a time in which it really mattered. Like you actually needed to protect yourself from a thought or from an idea or from an instance of an event that happened in your life. It mattered at one point, but it's when we continue to hold on to it and apply it to different things in our life. Now, as grown adults, a lot of our limiting beliefs are actually formed in our childhood and our young adulthood as well. And we've held on to it. So if you think about it, a limiting belief is almost like you're making a choice that scared 7-year-old would have made. But now you're a vibrant, 28-year-old, you're a vibrant 40-year-old, you're a vibrant 70-year-old, and you're still making the choices from that hurt child space, trying to protect yourself from a wound. And when you are aware of your limiting beliefs, when you are aware of the shadows that exist within you, you can make a different choice. It is not possible to completely remove a shadow. If people are trying to do that, I mean, I've never seen it happen. Okay. But what shadow work actually does for you, what really like figuring out your limiting beliefs and understanding them really does for you is that you can identify them. So when it pops up again, when you're about to go for that job promotion, that limiting belief comes up and says, you're not good enough for that. Say, oh, that's my limiting belief. You can identify it. And you say, oh, I'm so glad that I could identify that. Thank you, limiting belief. I'm going to apply for it anyways. And you go for it. And you can make the choice from you as your current self, not from the hurt child self. That child doesn't need to make the decisions of your grown person life?
Yeah, and so many people they don't realize that they have a choice. Like just because that's the way that their family was and that's the way that my parents brought me up, doesn't mean that that has to be your story for the rest of your life. You get a choice to decide if that's what you want your story to be. And if you don't,
Absolutely.
you can rewrite it. Does it take work? Yes, but it's worth it.
Absolutely. Your history doesn't predict what your trajectory of your life can be. It might have determined where you are now, but it doesn't have to determine where you're going. I have met lots and lots of people who came from just really dire circumstances in some cases, and they have been able to elevate themselves to really some really high levels in society and standard economically even. The thing is that there's going to be other people that came from those same situations that will continue to be in a victim mentality, will continue to say like, woe is me, I can't do anything because X, Y, and Z happened to me. I can't do anything because my parents were so shitty. I can't do anything with my future because I lived in poverty for all these years. I can't do anything because my parents are immigrants to America. Like, whatever the excuse is, there can be so many excuses. There can also be so many reasons to have those things motivate you to actually shift something in your life and continue on. I do not believe that anything that happened in your past needs to control your future and determine where you are headed. You can really create anything for yourself once you're really able to uncover those limiting beliefs and get past them. Our thoughts are so powerful. Our thoughts create our world. They create the life
Mhm.
that we're living in. And when we're continuously focused on the past, on what didn't work and why we're in the situation we're in, rather than how do we shift this? How do we get out of this situation? How do how do we get to the next level even? We're going to stay stuck. If we're continuing to think about how did we get in this predicament, right? All when we're asking the shitty questions, we're going to get the shitty answers. And that's always how it's been. When we're asking, hey, why does my life suck so much? What do you think the answer is going to be, right? When we're asking, How do we shift this? How do I create my life to be absolutely astonishing? Uh, You're going to get a different answer. And one is going to be much more encouraging than the other.
Right. Yes. And wow, there was so much to unpack there, but I know one thing too, you said well, basically, I feel like people disempower themselves. They need to when they stay in the victim mindset, they disempower themselves, but they need to take their power back and take responsibility and say, hey, I may not have, been responsible for all this trauma, but I have the responsibility to heal it and I can take that power back. But
Yeah, and
also,
I and that's a great point, Kelly, to actually talk about because it's not about toxic positivity. It's not about stepping over or not acknowledging what the past was at all, or saying that this person was in a horrible situation because they deserved it or anything like that. Not at all. No. The thing is, there can be a terrible situation that you're involved in, but the future of how your life goes is determined by you, right? You're not responsible for the event that happened in your life. You are not responsible that you were a victim at a moment. But if you continue to perpetuate that same story and allow yourself to be trapped, then that perpetrator wins again and again and again. Not just in that one moment where you might have felt defeated and crushed, but they continue to control your life. And I want to always teach people how powerful they are. I want to remind them that they are so powerful within themselves. I want to empower them to understand that they can go out and create the world. They can create anything in their life and they're totally free of anything of wherever they came from in the past or whatever happened to them in the past. They are free of it.
yes, they can be so powerful. You can take your power back for sure. So if anyone wants to begin to change their reality today, what's the first step you would recommend?
If anybody wants to change their reality, I would say become attunely aware of how you're speaking to yourself now. That's the first place to start. You might all of a sudden notice that you're a little negative. You might all of a sudden notice that when someone said, "Hey, how are you doing today?" You go, "I'm surviving." Oh, wait, what? You notice, why am I saying that? Starts to kind of click for you. And you might notice even the things that you start to say or the way that you talk to someone else or the way that you even talk to your children sometimes. It might be like, trying whatever the situation is, the awareness starts to shift things. If you become aware of how you are speaking, of your thoughts, that would be the absolute first step. And the second step to that is start to shift them. If you realize that every time that someone is saying, "Hey, how are you doing today?" You're saying, "I'm surviving, I'm getting through it," kind of thing. "I'm waiting till the weekend." Maybe you can start saying, "Things are going great, and I'm really looking forward to what's coming up next for me." You know, really, or I'm thriving in my situation, or whatever it is. Like really starting to speak your life into reality. Speaking, because our words are so powerful. So when we're speaking it into reality, it really can shift things for us.
Why does so many women struggle to trust themselves? Or what is your belief of why so many women struggle to trust themselves?
That's a tough question. But I'll say this, look, I think that a lot of people struggle to trust themselves, but I'll say that women in particular can struggle to trust themselves mainly because of the way that society has treated them a lot of the time.
Mm,
And I work with so many women, and again, I can see this person who, as a child, might have been this powerhouse and believed and had so much confidence in themselves. And then something happened, or their parents told them one way, or they were trained to be this, or women don't say that, girls don't talk like that. You're chatty Cathy. How many times do little girls hear this? Right. And it starts to mold us to continue to quiet ourselves, to suppress who we are, to be a little bit more silent, to not trust, and that's what continues to play out in our life. When we continue to doubt ourselves and not have a deep trust in our own being and our own intuition, that carries out and it penetrates and, just into every aspect of our life. It penetrates into every aspect of who we are, of
mm.
how we're living. It's a mistrust within ourselves. And when we can't trust ourselves, we can't trust anything else. And there's a sense of distrust that we're moving through life with.
That is so true. Yeah. Yeah, the more healing that I've done on myself, the more I trust myself and I used to not. I used to constantly doubt myself. And even though I knew the answers intuitively too, I would doubt myself all the time. But yeah, it was that past programming and I had to learn to get more in tune with myself and to recognize that always been intuitive and I've always kind of, had an intuitive nature to me. So what does living in alignment actually look like in everyday life?
Living in alignment can look different for everybody. I'll say that for me, well, let me tell you what's common about living in alignment, right? It's the feeling for everybody, regardless of what living in alignment looks like for you. It is the feeling that you have. If you are waking up in the morning and you are excited to pursue the day and move forward, that's you living in alignment. If you are waking up in the morning and feeling like you are dreading the day ahead of you, and I'm not talking about just having a bad day or a bad week. I'm talking about on a regular basis, if you're just like, I hate this job. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be with my partner. You're setting up, going on a date, and you're just like dragging your feet, and you're like, why am I doing this? Trust that. Change your life, you know? You don't have to continue resistance in your life. If you're feeling resistance towards something on a regular basis, that is a huge indicator for you. Living in alignment feels like flow.
Mm.
Living in alignment feels joyous and fulfilling. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily that it's easy, but it feels different, you know? I can tell you that some days when I was in medical school, even though I was good at it, even though I was getting straight A's and all that stuff, it felt heavy for me. Every morning, regardless of how long I got to sleep the night before, I'd wake up feeling exhausted, exhausted. And I can tell you now, the way that my life is now, and this is, I'm 20 years older than I was when I was in medical school. So age just plays a factor in it, but I can tell you I'm more vivacious, absolutely more vibrant. And I wake up with an excitement to be able to teach and work with people and just really go out and enjoy life and the world. It is such a different experience. And I might work a 14-hour day. I might work, man, before retreats and events when we're doing planning, we are working really long days here, right? Because I'm so intentional with how I cultivate a retreat and put things together. There's a lot that goes into it. And even in those moments, I go to sleep feeling like, yes, this is exactly what I said I want to do. And the next day I wake up saying, let's go, give me more. And when you're feeling like that, that's living in alignment. And when you're feeling anything but that, it's not.
So can you talk more about your retreats? I've heard you say a little bit about some retreats. You said, I think Costa Rica. Can you talk about like how long they typically are? What do you usually do?
Yeah, yeah. I love retreats. I
Yeah.
have been hosting retreats for over 25 years, if you can believe it. I literally have always gathered people together and wanted to create an incredible experience in a community. What I've always noticed too, even since I was like a teenager, was that when people were out of their regular environment, something shifted within them and they were able to kind of be a little more vulnerable. They were able to go a little deeper. They were able to experience themselves in a different way. So from then, I have hosted so many different retreats, and I love hosting retreats in Costa Rica. Now I'm hosting about 2 to 3 a year in Costa Rica, which has been an incredible experience. I also host retreats all around the world. So actually, in September of 2026, we're headed to Bali. Just a few months ago, actually not even a few months ago, last month in June, we hosted a beautiful retreat in Texas called Spiritual Safari. And there's always something going on in my world, and it's it goes a lot of intentionality, a lot of powerfulness, and also a lot of what I teach is in practicality. We want to teach you things that you're actually going to use. We want you to have an incredible time, to work with incredible facilitators and healers and, people from all around the world. So for my Texas retreat, for example, I flew in healers from Costa Rica. I flew in my friends who I knew was the best sound healer ever that I've ever experienced. I will fly him in anywhere. He is so incredible. Right. And anytime I host a retreat, I always want the best of the best. I don't want second best. I want the best of the best to come and represent and do what they are doing in a really powerful way. So yeah, if anybody's interested in coming on my retreats, find me on Instagram, send me a message, and we can take it from there. But actually in 2027, I have 3 retreats that are going to Costa Rica. 2 of them are in February and 1 is in July. So largely my retreats are women only, but the one in July is actually co-ed. So, anybody can join that one.
Okay. Wow, that sounds like a lot of fun. I would be open for that. So,
Yeah, Kelly,
yeah,
come on.
yeah,
Oh, and also,
yes.
you were asking how long they are. On average, they're usually about, I would say 6 to 8 days. On average, are like 7 days, let's say, right? And they're fully immersive, and we keep people at like luxury resorts. So I'm a little bougie, I'll tell you that much. We're not camping. We're not doing any kind of backpacking, couch surfing. Absolutely not. We are might be immersed in the jungle, but we will always have running water and Wi-Fi, right? We'll always be able to just be connected to our modern amenities and be able to go very, very deep into what it is that we're doing and how we are, working with energy and things like that, and how we're shifting things. And also, the retreats are so fun. It's not just that we're doing all this deep shadow work and we're crying in the no, we're having a lot of fun doing it. I also always set up, some excursions so we're able to go on the beach. Sometimes we go kayaking or we go into a natural reserve and get to see really cool animals. It's always an experience that you will remember and really, really love.
Oh, that's awesome. But going back to manifestation, so why do some people seem to manifest quickly while others struggle despite years of effort?
It comes down to exactly what we're talking about our limiting beliefs. If someone
Mm,
is able, if someone is able to manifest something very quickly, it means that they have very low resistance or limiting beliefs
mm,
towards having that in their life. When someone has been working on something for a long time and they're not seeing any kind of, shifts there or any kind of movement or fruition coming to it, there's a big misalignment there. There's something deeply rooted within them that is kind of suppressing that energy of magnetism into their life. It's usually a limiting belief that exists there that's saying, nope, not for you, not right now, kind of thing. It's holding them back. And when they can shift that, man, it really, really shifts. Sometimes you'll notice just how quickly things can come into our lives. And also, Kelly, we were talking about how we're always manifesting, right? We're manifesting 24/7. So the thing is,
okay.
just as we are creating our life, we're also creating those limiting beliefs. We're also creating the limitations in our life. So if we have this belief in our mind, we're not good enough for that. That's what we're continuing to create. If we have this idea that'll never be me, I could never, oh my God, having $200,000 on my bank account, oh, that'd be crazy. That's something I can't even imagine. Great. So the universe is like, you don't have to imagine it. It will never happen for you, right? And when we're able to shift that, our lives really do shift. And the thing about manifesting too is sometimes people think that, oh, it's going to take me a long time to achieve this goal because it's so big. If I'm manifesting $1 million in my life, or I'm manifesting this, to become the CEO here or to do something like that, it's going to take me X amount of years. And the universe hears that and says, okay, it'll take you X amount of years, right? Versus when we're thinking, oh, I'm manifesting a free cup of coffee. Here you go. You go to the bank and they give you a free cup of coffee, you go wherever. It's like right there for you easily because we don't have resistance to it. We believe that it can happen very quickly. We don't have these preconceived notions about it or these limitations that are holding us down and suppressing us from actually being able to achieve those goals. The other thing I want to say too is aligned action. It's manifestation is so misunderstood sometimes that people think like I'm just going to meditate on it and it'll happen to me. No. Very, very rarely, at least. Let me say that. Most of the time, you have to take action towards your goal. And when you are in alignment and when you are taking aligned action, things can actually shift for you and you'll see the next step in front of you. See the next thing that's opening up for you. But when you don't, not going to happen.
Okay, yeah, that's very true. But also back to the manifestation. I did this with my son yesterday. We were gonna go, we went to Chick-fil-A to get some dinner, and I said, I'm gonna manifest something for free. And so we went there, we ordered our food, and they gave us the wrong food. Or like, they gave us an extra, I asked for grilled nuggets. They gave us extra fried nuggets. And they said, no, keep the fried nuggets, and here's your grilled nuggets. So then he got to eat the nuggets and he was like, it really did work. And I was like, yes, I told you it can happen. Yeah. So
How
yeah,
cool is that, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm making a believer out of my 13-year-old. But
I love
yeah,
it.
yeah, but it's awesome. But what are some signs that a person is operating from old conditioning rather than their authentic self?
What are some signs that people are stuck in their old beliefs? Is that what it is?
Yes,
Yeah.
or that they're operating from old conditioning rather than their authentic self. Is there
Yeah.
something you've noticed?
Oh, absolutely. If you feel stuck in your life, if you feel like things aren't moving and your manifestations aren't coming true or into fruition for you, well, that's you operating in an old belief system. You might be thinking that you're living in this next level, this next level evolution of yourself, but if it's not actually happening, if it's not coming to fruition, you're not. You're stuck in that old identity. It's only when we're actually expanding the identity that we currently have into our new belief system that we're able to actually receive the things that it is that we want to experience in our world. It's not going to happen when we have this closed-minded aspect to us, when we're really like feeling small. It's not going to happen.
Right. Yes, that is so true. So, what is one message that you hope every listener takes away from today's conversation?
Oh, I hope that every listener takes away the importance of truly shifting your subconscious and how that can make a
Mhm.
difference. I want to remind people how words create our world and really our thoughts. So having a shift in our thoughts can be so profound in our life. And you can start with just one thought. I also would highly recommend people that are new into manifestation or even have been working on manifestation for a long time, but are looking for a practical way to manifest. Pick up this book, The 24/7 Manifestation Method. It's coming out October 6th, 2026. It is a powerful book. And I really want people to be able to have it in their hands and have the guidance of it moving forward. You can get it pre-sale right now. It's like on all the sorry. You can get it for pre-sale right now. It's on all the different modalities of purchasing it on Amazon and on Barnes and Nobles and all that stuff. So go and order it and really get it in your hands when it comes out and be ready and be able to really tap
Yes.
into it. Also, I want to say that people that do get it for pre-sale, I have a whole list of really cool bonuses that are going to come with it. So, and that's only exclusive for people that get it on pre-sale.
Okay, that's awesome. So, where can listeners find you and learn more about your work?
Yeah, come find me on Instagram. You can find me under Latha, Latha underscore Jay underscore. Come find me at my website and on any other like social media and stuff. And I'm sure Kelly, you're going to include the links to where people
Yes.
can find me. So look around this podcast wherever it is, below it, above it, to the left or the right. You'll be able to find it. But come find me, send me a message. I want to hear from you and tell me that you saw me here talking to Kelly, and that's what really influenced you to come and message me. I always love to be able to chat with people.
Well, thank you so much for being a part of this podcast and coming on and just sharing your stories and we got to see a sneak peek of your book. It looks amazing, by the way. I love it. Yeah, I love the colors on it. It looks great. But thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks, Kelly. Thanks for having me. I think we had a great discussion. I'm so glad that you were able to have me on.
Yes, thank you so much. But thank you so much for listening to the Kelly Healing Project. Remember, healing is not about becoming somebody new. It's about reconnecting with who you truly are, healing the past, empowering your future. If you'd like to connect further, you can visit me at thekellyhealingproject.com. I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.